Declaration and Platform for Action, and the action coalitions, which are all geared towards the realization of the rights of women and girls. And for us to promote gender equality, we need to ensure that all those legal instruments that are backing and supporting the protection and promotion of the rights of women and girls, we call on states to fulfill their obligations towards the Women, Peace and Security Agenda 1325, the Beijing Declaration of Powerful Actions, and call on states to become partners to action coalitions, and why not also partners to the Sustainable Development Goals, which talks on gender equality. At national levels, we need to just ensure that governments fulfill their obligations as far as the women's rights issues are concerned. We are making significant progress, but we need to accelerate the promises made on gender equality, specifically for women and girls all over the world and those living in grassroots communities. I would like to contextualize it to what is going on in my country, Cameroon, especially in the two English regions, the Northwest and Southwest. People have been using social media to push forward war agendas and targets of women peace builders and women who are also part of the peace processes within this context. Of course, social media is a powerful tool for women and young girls to push forward their different agendas when it's related to women's rights, to peace building. Digital technology is a very important part of our work. We could use social media to promote peace and social justice. Social media gives women peace builders platforms to showcase their work. It gives us the opportunity to meet like-minded peace builders from around the world and share our different contexts and share experiences and share expertise and learn from each other. Looking at barriers, there's so many barriers to women's participation or engagement in peace process. First of all, we know that 20 plus years ago, the United Nations Security Council resolution adopted the resolution 1325 on women, peace and security. And this is as a result of a long history of women exclusion in decision-making processes. The Women's Alliance for Security Leadership frames what we call the She Builds Peace campaign, which has four frameworks. And I want to respond to your question using these four frameworks. The first one is the safety aspect. Women have an issue with regards to safety. Conflicts are complex settings for you to work. Most of the time, we find ourselves going into areas and being dehumanized, like you are being sexualized because you are a woman. The combatants look at you differently. The security and safety of women peace leaders is very important. Looking at the aspect of obligation, we have the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325. And as a young woman, I am so confident and proud to bring also the aspect of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250 on youth peace and security. But when it comes to decision-making processes, they are not part of decision-making processes. These are all barriers to women's participation. Women in my community had always been considered peace builders because when we have issues in families, they always consider women should be the soft one to bring two people to reconcile. And so we've been playing that role before now. The resolution 1325 is just coming to amplify and give women more voice, but more agency. But these are the roles that women have already been playing. And looking at this aspect of appreciation, women do a lot of work. Like I'm organizing a campaign tomorrow. I'm launching the She Builds Peace campaign tomorrow with 100 young women peace builders in the Southwest. And our advocacy is, yes, we are in all initiatives that has to do with peace building. When it comes to recognition, the efforts of women peace builders are not appreciated. If I want to go to a UN meeting, I should be able to tell my sisters, I'm going to this meeting. I'm going to be your voice. I'm going to be your eyes. I'm going to be your legs. I'm going to be your hands. What are the pressing issues you want me to push? What is the agenda you want us to push? That is what we're talking about, women's agency. It is not being tokenistic or handpicking of women. Sometimes you are not invited. For you to go, you need resources to go. If there's a meeting in Tokyo, for instance, and I think that I must be part of this process, I need to mobilize funds for me to pay a flight ticket for me to go to Tokyo. These are just so many barriers to women's participation. And I think that we need a change. And We're also looking at women's participation. I'm also advocating for young women because they are at the front line working towards silencing the guns in their communities and bringing hope. And therefore, they need to be part of every peace building process. It's not an issue of including women. Women are already part of the processes. We need to ensure that women's representation is not tokenistic. I think for me, the big idea is having women and like a women's agency, women being together, because when you are together, it is difficult for you to be broken. The togetherness, having a women's agency where women are together to advocate for their rights, to negotiate, to mediate, and do advocacy for them to have maybe a seat on the table or carry forward wooden chairs to the table. We need to ensure that there is a quota of women, and it shouldn't be like, because it is women, we just have to handpick any woman. It's an issue of having the women decide as to who they feel should be like their representative, like the person that is being maybe part of this process should be able to have sufficient information. And also we need to look at giving grassroots women a place as well. Most of the time we've had so much elitism, some like the same people elitists, like we forget that sometimes we are maybe privileged because sometimes we are not in those communities. We can go work in the communities and come back. We have people who live in the communities who face the reality, and it is important for them to be part of the process as well. Whatever decision or agreement that will be arrived at during peace processes will be beneficial to those who are at grassroots. And those at grassroots have access to so many information because they are the real heroes. They are living within or amidst the conflict. They understand the dynamics and they are able to raise their issues. And so they should be able to be given a space. And a quota for women is very important. Access to resources also an issue that will come up because if women don't have access to resources, I think we'll be unable to march from Cameroon maybe to Tokyo. Let us not forget young women, because young women at the forefront of most initiatives, and they are in the grassroots, they are in their communities trying to rebuild, trying to build social cohesion, trying to build already fragile communities. And I think that when we talk about women's inclusion, we should also not forget women, young women.